So again, I'm not getting sharing option. Sir, can you kindly give sharing option to me? I'm unable to share the screen.
It's already given, ma'am. So,
Yeah.
do you find any difficulties in sharing the presentation?
Yeah, that share option is not getting enabled. No, I want to click the share. The share option is not getting enabled. I've given share entire screen. It is not getting enabled. It's not getting. Once again, let me leave the meeting and rejoin.
Yeah. That we will try. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find it, ma'am?
Ma'am, I think you're muted.
Kindly give the rights now.
Uh,
Oh, I'm not
so
getting.
in Google Meet, there is no
Yeah,
such an
I've got.
option.
No, I've got
Okay.
it. I've got it. Just now.
Okay. Yeah.
So you're able to view my screen, sir?
Yes, ma'am. It's perfect.
Yes, yeah, perfect. So my topic, the topic which has been given to me, was using machine learning models for lung cancer classification. So, dear participants, so why machine learning models? What is the need for machine learning models? If you see, we require. So, you're able to see that medical images screen.
Yeah, now we can see, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
It's not, yeah, medical imaging in
Yeah,
PDF.
that's
File,
yeah,
yeah.
sure. So dear participants, see what is the need. So when healthcare, the growth of healthcare technology has been very immense, and what is the need for machine learning models here? So I'll just directly go into the topic. So there are so many images. So all types of all being biomedical persons being in this FTP session. So the medical imaging and all the CT scans, all MRIs has become very important. So if you see in this case, the classification of this using machine learning models will help the physicians for early diagnosis. Once the disease has been early, it has been diagnosed at an early stage, the process of giving medication would be prayer and life-saving would be handled. So if you see in this scenario, so why machine learning models? So first, before going into lung cancer classification or lung nodules, all those sort of medical data, so it is highly important to know why I have chosen or the topic of machine learning models is being going in this scenario. So if you see, so if machine learning models are not there, then what is there? Okay, so if machine learning model is not there, then how it would have been handled and why we are going. So if machine learning models or soft computing or computational intelligent techniques or evolutionary strategies, all these all come under the same cluster. All these are based on humans, how human think, rational. Okay, so it is highly rational. So how humans think, how we operate, how it has been how we think, how we make decisions, how this machine learning models or soft computing models are being integrated with medical image diagnosis, how it is being integrated with medical image diagnosis so as to give solutions to the problem. So as humans, okay, so always everything has to be considered as a system. Okay, so everything is a system. So what is a system? Okay, or I'll pose question to the audience. So which is the most complex system in the world? Which is the most complex system in the world? Anyone? Which is the most complex system in the world? Yes?
Cir- Circulatory system.
Human body, human brain.
Yeah, sure, perfect. So human system, right? So which is the most complex system in the world? So you'll have always human system is going to be the most complex system in the world. Why do you say human system as complex system in the world? Why we say human system is the most complex system in the world? Any answers? The reason, yes, the answer is correct. So human system is the most complex system in the world. Can you tell why human system is more complex? Anyone? Anyone?
Advanced developments.
No, complexity in human. See, human system is made up of nervous system, excretory system, muscular system, central nervous system, and if you see respiratory system, cardiovascular system, reproductive system. So many systems are there. So many systems are there. But human, see, only when human thinks he has to be perfect, he can be perfect. And the analysis of human, why always see, you give, you run a motor or you run a computer, you know the operating system behind it, you know the processor behind it. So we don't know, we can't diagnose, or human, it is very difficult to diagnose how it will react. See, we have to be linear, we are being protected. For this FDP, you have to be silent, you have to be muted, you follow a certain ethics. So we are being tuned for that. So when we are tuned for that, so we behave. But it is complex system. You go for a master health checkup. What happens? They put a file, they give you. So what happens? So many datas about you. So cardiac, if you take ECG, so many data, so many signals. I think in your session you have analysis is for ECG, so many ECGs. You take MRI, so many MRI images. So it's a complex system because how many parameters are there for you to define a human? How many parameters? How many parameters will be there to define you basically? Can you tell how many parameters, input parameters? Say if you say a computer, you want to computer, you want to see the capacity or the quality or the efficiency of a computer, a system, a normal PC system, personal computer system, its RAM, its speed, at what is it, 54.5 gigahertz, etc. So what is the parameters for humans? You're all working with biomedical. How? What are the various parameters? For example, cholesterol content, blood pressure. Likewise, how many parameters defines a human? For eye, etc. So for eye, how many? So for eye intensity, all its pressure. Eye also will have a pressure. So how many parameters will be there to define a human? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Yeah, so how many parameters would be there? N parameters, right? N parameters. So many number of N parameters. So we can't tell if something is happening. We can't tell that this parameter has made a disturbance and hence this is reflected. We can't tell. So N parameters. So you take a cardiac system. So many parameters are there. We don't know. So the doctors, the physician, the medical practitioners will know all those parameters. So handling parameters is very difficult. Okay, so they devise machines, they devise medical imaging machines based on all those parameters, based on all those parameters. So hence what happens, how to handle these parameters, how to handle these parameters. Okay, so hence for handling all these parameters, one of the solution is going to be machine learning models. Okay, so many parameters I have. I don't know how to do with all these parameters. I want to establish a relation between these parameters. I want to establish a relation between these input parameters and output parameters. I view all the input parameters, blood pressure, cholesterol content, the ECG, all the rates when echo is taken after this treadmill walk, so etc. etc. So each part, respiratory, I take a lung CT, chest image, and I perform. So if you see lung, how the lung nodules, how the pumping of the lungs would be there. So likewise, so what is happening? So many parameters defines you. So many parameters will define you. So when the parameters are being defined, each parameters and what is the output finally? See, any system in the world. So let me take a system like this. So let me take a system like this. So this is a system basically. Any system will have an input. Any system will have an output. So this is a system, SY. This is a system. So this is a system with input and output. Okay. So any medical imaging device you take, you give inputs, right? Input. So when you go for a scan, they give inputs. Okay. So when an abdomen is being scanned, for example, so what happens? So you scan it, and what it will happen, so that is the input which is going. What will be the output? So the output would be the diagnostic, what is being seen. So in the abdomen, whether there is a tumor, or whether different fibroids are there, etc., whether there is small clusters, whether undefinite particles are being identified, so etc., it will be observed. So a system, so any system, any medical imaging system will have an input and an output. How many inputs will it have? Will it have only one input and one output, my dear participants? Will it have only one input and one output?
No.
No. Perfect. How many inputs will be there?
N number of inputs.
N number of inputs. Yes, perfect. So there will be N number of inputs, and outputs also may be N number of outputs. So there can be N number of inputs and there can be N number of outputs. So what happens? Why machine learning model here? Why I want? So if you see many Elsevier or research papers, even if you see NVIDIA, even in hardware environment, they started using artificial intelligence and machine learning for imaging techniques. Why? Why? So first we'll finish why we are going for machine learning models. Then we'll go for how machine learning model is used for lung image. So to start with this, see, always we are trying to solve a problem. Why biomedical is growing? Why biomedical is growing? Because anyone comes with a problem, we want to give a solution to a problem, make them cure, make them identify, make them be healthy, and make them lead a very moral life. Okay, so problem solving. Okay, so what is ultimately, so we started, so in our school days or in college days, whatever it was, we have started our early career by solving problems. Ultimately, examination, problem solving. Wherever you go, problem solving. So we have a sixth sense. What is our basic of having sixth sense? It will help you find. It will help you make a decisions. Why you have sixth sense? Because we are able to. Why artificial intelligence, robotics, all are being incorporated or inculcated into medical imaging techniques, because it has to be independent. It has to be of high precision, and it has to be of high accuracy, because life is involved. Because life is involved. So hence what happens, so if I'm going to use some modeling, the accuracy has to be guaranteed. So hence, why if machine learning model is not there, whether we can't find solution to these problems, no, it is not like that. There might be several conventional techniques, there will be several traditional techniques which can find solutions to the problem. So then under what conditions I go for machine learning model? What type of problems are there? I can go for machine learning models. So in that scenario, so if you see for example, I ask you a question. Okay, so s plus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, so don't mind, madam is asking all these simple questions. Okay, so see here, s plus 2 is equal to 0. Can you tell what is the value of s here now? What is the value of S here now? Let it be interactive. If it is offline mode, it would be different. Online mode, so so let few interactions be there. S plus 2 is equal to 0. What will be value of S? S will be equal to minus 2. Yes, please. Yeah, perfect. So S plus 2 is equal, S is equal to minus 2. If it is going to be S squared plus 3S plus 2 equal to 0. Now what is the solution of S? S squared plus 3S plus 2. So now what will be the solution of S? Minus B plus or minus root of B square minus 4AC by 2A. What will be the solution of S? Yes, please. Yes, whoever it is, please. What will be the value of S?
-1 and -2.
-1 and -2. Perfect. -1 and -2. It's perfect. Okay. Now see, I'm asking you. So S cube plus 6S squared plus 11S plus 6 equal to 0. All are highly professional engineers, right? So we are operating on for problem solving. We are trying to find solutions to problems, including medical image problems. So we want precision techniques and precision operating machines. Now I'm asking you, it is a cubic equation. So the first one is an algebraic equation. The second is an algebraic equation, S squared. Now it is a cubic polynomial. So S cube plus 6S squared plus 11S plus 6 equal to 0. Now I am asking you, what is the value of S? Now I am asking you, what is the value of X? What will be the value of S, my dear participants?
-1, -2, -3.
Perfect. -1, -2, -3. So now I am asking you, S power 9 plus 5S power 8 plus etc. it goes on is equal to 0. So S power 9. Till how much order of the equation? Still how much after order of the equation? So S plus 2, first order equation. S squared plus 3S plus 2, it is a second order equation. S cube plus 6x squared plus 11s plus 6 is a third order equation. S power 4, S power 5, S power 6, it goes on till S power 100 till S power 1000. So now I am asking you, till what order are you able to find the value of X? Yes. Till what order is it feasible? Till what order you are being trained? So we are going to devise medical imaging techniques and we speak on technologies. I'm asking you a very simple question. So till what order is it possible to find a solution for this equation? Find solution to the value of S. Till what order? We have 1, 2, 3 for S cube. Madam has tell a perfect answer, -1, -2, -3. If it is S power 4, S power 5, S power 6, it goes on. So now what will happen? What will happen? Anyone, let it be wrong, my dear participants. Let it be wrong, correct? Please come out. So till what? So it's very difficult, right? So it is very difficult, not difficult in the sense it will be time consuming. It will be like this. So here if you see, suddenly all of a sudden in our 11th standard and 12th standard, we come across differentiation and integration. So if I'm right, yes or no? Differentiation and integration?
Yes.
Yes, perfect.
Yes.
So, yeah, all of a sudden, why? So we were studying about algebraic equations. It is related with all these machine learning models. So if you know this basic, you can do your research and you can publish very good papers. This fundamental only is very important. So hence I'm handling this. So we were speaking about algebraics, matrices, we are speaking about polynomials, analytical calculations, etc. And now on why we go for differentiation and integration. Can you tell why we have gone for differentiation and integration suddenly in 11th and 12th, and why your children are studying engineering, maths, and all those stuff? Why? It would have been cubic polynomial or it would have been algebraic equation. Why we have gone? Everything varies with respect to time. Time. Cubic polynomial, no time. You were in your LKG. Human system is the most complex system. You were in your LKG. You were in your 5th standard. You were in your 10th standard. You were in your UG. You were in your PG program. You were in your PhD program. Okay. So I'm putting a curve. What is your knowledge when you were in LKG? Like this. 5th, it is grown. 10th, UG, PG, PhD. You accept this curve? You accept this curve?
Yes.
Yes. Good. Okay, so see what is happening. See what is happening. Why you study differentiation and why you studied integration? Because everything varies with respect to time. Everything varies with respect to time. Hence, dx by dt, dx by dt. So you all left all of the student cubic, s cube, s power 4, till s power, you left all those stuff. You've left all those steps. You've gone for dx by dt or integral x of t. Because if you're studying LKG in your 80s, okay, so your 5th standard in your 85, your 10th, etc. in your 90s, and all in your 2000s, and now this you completed all your PhD in 2015s to 20s, for example, in 15s, or even before that, even prior to that. So what is happening? Everything is varying with respect to time. So if you take healthcare technology, so what has happened? It has got from earlier days. So from earlier days, okay. See, I always focus more on fundamentals. Okay, so finally we'll see how this is being applied. If you're very strong in your fundamentals, you can do wonderful research in your medical image diagnosis or whatever it is. So hence I'm focusing. So time. So healthcare technology during 90s, during 2000, during 2010, 2020. 2020 in this pandemic, highest research is going on in pathology side, in pharmacology side, and in medical devices side. So time dependent. So everything varies with respect to time. So when time is there, what was your conventional techniques? I told you, if machine learning is not there, if artificial intelligence is not there, if robotics is not there, then is it not problem can't be solved and solution cannot be determined? It is not like that. It is not like that. So hence solutions are there. What is the solutions? What is the solutions? So everything is time dependent. Hence everything is written by means of differential equations. Differential equations, when the system is continuous, you will be writing it by means of differential equations, or you will be writing it by means of difference equations. So if it is discrete, okay, so some medical problems, if you feel, okay, only at instant and only at impulse, only for a particular impulse, the signal will be given and a patient will be tested. Only at impulse, or 10 minutes gap, 10 minutes gap. So the 10 minutes is called as, so if you see here it is continuous. Here it is continuous. For example, if you see here, at a patient is being tested at impulse points, okay, so like here, like here, like here, so like this it is being tested. So this is impulse. So for impulse, how a patient, how his amplitude, or how his ECG or whatever, his BP varies at impulse instance. So 1T or 2 tau or 3 tau, etc. So it goes on, and how it increases, how it varies, not increases, how it varies. So this, if it is going to be discrete at this instance, then it is being denoted by means of difference equations. Then it is done by means of difference equations. Okay, when not impulse signals is given, and when always it is operating at continuous, it will be given by means of differential equation: d squared x by dt squared plus 5 dx by dt plus 6x, or d cube x by dt squared. Okay, so d cube d10 x by dt to the power 10. Okay, see, it increases complexity. A hospital, when it is being initiated, when a hospital is being new, patients data would be 100 patients data is there. Per month, 100 patients data is there. Second month, what will happen? 200. Okay, so what happens? Year, okay, so 2000, 2001, 2, as time varies, so what will happen? The data, the complexity of the data increases, voluminous of the data increases. I have to handle the voluminous of the data. So the machine which I design, or I'm performing some diagnosis, disease diagnosis or cancer diagnosis in the oncology part, if I'm going to do, so what will happen if you see, it will be complex. Okay, so it will be complex. See, d squared x by dt squared is simple. So you were able to find the solution for s squared plus 3s plus 12. You are able to find the solution for s cube. Same with respect to time if you see d cube x. But when it is going to be d power 10, it is going to be very difficult. It is going to be very difficult. So I want you to know the fact when it is going to be continuous, you are going to monitor the patient's level, whatever level, or uric acid level, or their hemoglobin level in a continuous manner. Okay, so in that scenario, so what will happen? It is continuous. They will write those analysis, whoever it is. Before making the design machine parts, an analysis or a design would be made. So in that analysis or design, if you see what will happen, so they analyze with respect to time, and hence they write it by means of differential equations. If it is continuously you're continuously monitoring the patient. On the other hand, perfectly, so they'll go 1 hour time period is given, so this difference is 1 hour. This difference is 1 hour, this difference is 1 hour, this difference is 1 hour. In that scenario, so now what will happen? So you will be defining it by means of difference equations. Now we are going to know, if differential equation, what is conventional technique used? If it is going to be difference equation, what is a conventional or traditional technique used? Can you tell how you are solving a difference equation? Anyone? It is going to be like this: 5x minus 3 plus 6x minus 2 plus 9x minus 1 plus 7ex is equal to 6u, for example. Now I'm asking you, how do you solve this difference equation? What is the method which is being used? Anyone? A difference equation, you know. See, we are attending, you know it. Image processing, you would have studied. Image processing, medical image processing. Even you would have studied in your digital signal processing, or in your signals and systems. So how
you can
do you
apply some transforms?
Perfect. So we can apply transforms. See, a difference equations. So what are those transforms? Fourier transform, discrete Fourier transform, cosine transform, DFT, FFT, your Fourier transforms, your wavelet transforms, your Z transforms. So DFT, FFT, DCT, so all transforms. So DCT, cosine transforms, wavelet transforms. So or this one, FTs, again. So this is for difference equation. When it is going to be differential equation d squared x, what is the only transform we would have applied? LT. What is LT? What is LT? Laplace transform. So we would have applied Laplace transforms to find solutions to the problems. Yes. So if machine learning model is not there, okay, if machine learning model is not there, whether we can find solutions to the problems? Yes, we can find the solutions to the problems. How? When you are analyzing the patient's data in a continuous manner, you will be writing it in the form of differential equations. When you write the patient, when continuous monitoring is there and you write it by means of differential equations, then you use Laplace transform to find the solutions to the problems. On the other hand, On the other hand, when it is going to be patient's data is being analyzed at sampled time instance, then it will be a discrete. So then if you can see the output in the screen of a CT system or whatever system, you can see it in the form of this, then it will be a difference equation. When it is going to be a difference equation, you can use all the transforms like Z transforms, Fourier transform, DFT, DCT, wavelet transforms, and find solutions to the problems. So now, when you have all these transforms, now why you are going for machine learning models? Now why you are going for machine learning models here? So till what equations? So transforms, I'm applying DFT or FFT. So that is the reason I asked you till what order you are able to solve the problem. So it is very difficult, right? So it is very difficult. How do you write a differential equation, or how do you write a difference equation? 5x minus 2 or plus etc. plus 6 into x minus 1 plus plus 9x is equal to 7u. How do you write this equation? You are given with these equations and you find solutions to this equation. How do you write this equation? How do you write a difference equation, or how do you write a differential equation? In high-end research papers, they call this as mathematical model. They will not call it as the differential equations, or they will not call it as difference equations. So they call it as mathematical model. They call it as mathematical model. So mathematical model will provide the relation between the input and output. So how I write a difference equation for applying transforms? How I write? So you are taking from a paper, we take the difference equation, or we give inputs to a machine. Okay, so to a healthcare machine, we give a inputs as input. So hence, what happens here? How do you write a difference equation? If you know the relation between input and output only, you are able to write a difference equation. If you are not able to write a difference equation, you cannot apply transforms. You cannot apply. I have a difference equation. Only if I have a difference equation, I can apply transforms. If I don't have an equation, how can I apply? I can't apply the conventional techniques. All these are conventional techniques. And even in case of differential equation, only if I'm able to write a differential equation, I can use Laplace transforms. If I don't know the differential equation, I cannot apply Laplace transform. How to write the differential equation? How to write the difference equation? Only if I know relation between input and output, I can write these equations, which are called as mathematical models. Only then I can write these equations, which are called as mathematical models. But what happens? Complexity of the data increases. Okay, we can't tell if suddenly a person falls ill. We can't tell only because of pressure he has got ill, or only because of there is a stone in the kidney he has got it. We can't tell like that. We can't tell the output is being occurring only based on a specific input. We can't tell only because of a particular specific input this output has been happening. So we can't tell like that. So hence what happens? It is very difficult. It is very difficult in case of this medical side. It is very difficult to judge or predict or diagnose that only because of this input parameter the patient is being like this. Very difficult. So hence what happens in that scenario, when I don't know the relation between the inputs and outputs, when I don't know the relation between the inputs and outputs, I cannot use all these transforms. I cannot use all these transforms. So if I'm not able to use these transforms, then what can I use? Because I don't have a differential equation. I don't have a difference equation. So I don't have a differential equation. I don't have a difference equation. So in that scenario, if I don't have both these equations, now what shall I do? Okay, don't use transforms. So go for machine learning models. This is the need. So if machine learning models, so I don't tell transforms are excellent solution providers. Whether it is DFT, FFT, wavelet transforms are excellent solution providers, they are able to analyze the imaging models, and we have got delivered good outputs and good solutions of not good, precise, accurate solutions. Okay, so accurate solutions has been obtained. But what happens when complexity of the problems increases? When you are unable to make a relation between the input and output, I am unable to write a differential equation, or I am unable to obtain a difference equation. So what happens? I have inputs. I have complete knowledge of inputs. I have complete knowledge of inputs. I have complete knowledge of outputs. I have complete knowledge of inputs, and I have complete knowledge of outputs. So when I have complete knowledge of inputs and when I have complete knowledge of outputs, okay, don't worry. Relations is not relation between input and output is not required. You just have it incorporated into a system. Incorporate it into a system. Hence, so that system is called as machine learning system. So I have knowledge of inputs. Okay, so I have knowledge of inputs. So multiple inputs. So I1 till I10 or nth. Okay, so I have, so here if you see, so I have output O1, so O2, etc. On. I don't want, so this I1, I don't want a relation between I1 is directly proportional to output O2, or I1 is directly proportional to O15. I don't want the relation. Or if you see IN, so if you see IN, it is inversely proportional to the output O4. So this is relation. So which input affects which output? Okay, only if you have this relation, oh, I1 is directly proportional output. Okay, so then d squared I1 by dt squared will have the output as O2. So this is how you write a differential equation. Huh? This is how you write. But I don't want all these. Whether it is which influence this. I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this differential equation. I don't want this. I don't want all these. Okay. So in that scenario, so only when it is going to be, I have complete knowledge. So whatever you take MRI scan, I give the data from the MRI scan. CT scan, CT chest of the test, I get it and I give it. So I take all the inputs and outputs. How many lakhs and lakhs of input signals and lakhs of input of a particular patient? Okay, so P1, so patient 2, patient 3, so etc. So many patients data. So many patients data. So I'll show you the data of the patients, for example. So see here. So lung sample images. So see here. So this is lung image samples of the patient. See, for example, this is a patient 1, for example. So see the lung. Let it be N number. Let it be. So see this. This is for patient 1. So see here. This is for patient 2. This is patient 2 data. So if you see here, so see here patient, this is patient 9, Sridharan. Okay, so see here. So this is patient 3 data. Okay, so patient 3, this is, see, this is lung. Yes, so it goes on like this. So see each and every samples. So this is all patients who have cancer. Okay, so lung cancer. So if you see, this is this. I think one will have a big tumor. Yeah. So see here. Now this is patients' samples. So if you see, see here. This is your cancer images. Yes. Okay, so see this nodule, this is a lung, and this part where red encirclement is there, so this is going to be the nodule part. So see here red square, where there is a red square. Yes, see this part. So this part is going to be your nodule part. Okay. So likewise, so here left, right, and this left part, see this part. So this is the cancerous tissues. Okay, so see here. So here this is a big one. Yeah. So see this part where this red arrow indication is there. So that one is the cancer tissues. So see here this small one, the blue one. Here also it is very small, tiny cancerous tissue. Tiny cancerous tissue here. So likewise, so if you see, so see this parts, so all whatever it is. So here it is very lucid. It is very lucid. See this one. So marking is not done, but we can see that white issue on the other side. So what happens? See how many data. So see here, how many images here? Lung image samples. If you take, how many images? So many images, so many pixels. When you convert it into image, you can work either in Scilab or even in MATLAB. We work both in Scilab because it is open source. You can work in Scilab also. So, and MATLAB, if you have proprietary software, then you can go with MATLAB. Else, Scilab also gives good solutions. So when so much data is there, when so much data is there, it is not only for this many number of patients. So it is for hundreds and thousands of patients' data. See, hundreds and thousands of patients' data is there. So when complexity increases and handling of data increases, rather than transforms, you can apply artificial intelligence modules if this is like this, expert system solutions, or you can go for machine learning models, or you can go for machine learning models. So that is the reason you can see several papers. Okay, so brain tumor or any health, for example, even currently if you see COVID-19 with the CT chest images, the prediction of the diagnosis or the occurrence of the level of the COVID in the lung module. So numerous papers on deep convolutional neural networks. If you see, numerous papers has been come, and see, rather than just papers being published. Okay, so in case of technology side, the development side, this AI is being incorporated. So for early prediction and early diagnosis, so as to for early protection. So with this introduction, why machine learning? Okay, if machine learning is not there, which can give us a solution? All the transforms can give us a solution. What is the lack, or what in case if I am not able to get the differential equation, in case I don't have a difference equation, then I cannot apply the solution, then I cannot apply the transforms. So I should not get stuck. Anywhere. Okay, so even I have 1 lakh data, even I have 10 lakh image data, I have n number of input for a patient. I have 1000 inputs, let it be. For patient 2, I have 1000 inputs, let it be. Okay, so that too, deep learning with convolutional neural models are currently giving excellent solutions, and even hardware chips are being developed for deep CNN with all ResNet, ConvNet, 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 convolutional net, all only for medical imaging they are being used. Okay, so if you see in this whatever be the tissue classifier, so whatever be whether it is brain tumor tissue classification, breast cancer tissue, nodules identification, or lung or prostate cancer, so whatever it is, anything. So if you see how the regular procedure goes, so how the regular procedure goes, if you see, so that has been shown in this block diagram, so which you are able to view now. So if you see here, so always you identify, see, always, so in medical, if you see, they take histology, so they'll draw, so with all those features, with all those features. Okay, so first training regions, so they obtain the training regions. Then I think you all know, since you're all basically with biomedical, you know, handling images, and you would have studied image processing, so we extract the features. So prominent features will be taken from the features, then you go for select the prominent features. You have so many methods for feature extraction. Then after then you go for segmenting. After segmenting, so where you apply your machine learning. So for diagnosis, for prediction, you can apply. Yes, for prediction you can apply. You can apply. So you do hundreds of data. So how machine learning works? How machine learning works basically for medical imaging. See, so I should not ask these questions, but I'm asking you. So A, B, C, D. Okay, till Z. Z. How many? What is the number of alphabets? How many alphabets?
26.
Yeah. Why so much thinking? So 26. See, A to Z. See, think of your brain in your LKG. Okay. So now we are listening. We are. This is a very wonderful FDP. You are going to hear all the 5 days on all medical imaging, various perspectives of healthcare technologies. Okay, but everything, your brain, your human central nervous system is prima facie. So when it is going to be prima facie, I'm asking a very simple question. So A to Z, how many letters? Yes, madam has said it perfectly. It's 26. I'm asking you now, why 26 only? How your brain in LKG accepted? Now if I'm telling something wrong, okay, Deepa ma'am came, she taught something about classification, why machine learning models, speaking about differential equation, asking us roots of an equation, s plus 2 is equal to 0, what is the root, or s squared plus 3, she's asking all these things. So, okay, this is after the end of the session, morning 2 sessions, okay, this is good, that is bad, this is okay, I learned something, all these stuff, right? You're able, what your brain is doing now, what your brain is doing now, what your brain is capable of doing now.
Retrieving the informations.
Retaining the informations, and it is classifying. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, it is classifying. Perfect. Why you have accepted when you were taught in your kindergarten A to Z, now you can't accept. If I'm telling something which is not possible, your brain will not accept, because your brain is well-trained brain. Can I tell like that?
Yes.
Yes. Can I? Yeah, it is. You cannot observe, because your brain is well-trained brain. When your ABC to Z, when it was said only 26 letters, have any one of you post why it is not 29 letters, why it is not 32 letters, why it is not 27, or why it is not 15? Have you asked?
No.
No. Yes, even I have not asked. We have accepted A to Z. That is our brain training. So the fundamental of machine learning models are training. Okay, so fundamental. So you are trained. So rain, go away, come again another day. So what is happening to your brain? So your brain is trained. What do we do for our students? How many units are there in the syllabus?
Mostly 5 units.
Mostly 5 units. How many times you present the 5 units to your brain before going for examination? Please come out. So how many times you go for this? How many times you go for presenting the entire 5 unit syllabus into your brain? Can the participants answer? Before appearing for the exams, you have 5 units, mostly 5 units in the syllabus. So before you appear before the examinations, so can you tell me how many times you present the same input samples? 5 units, is it going to differ each time you read?
No.
No. So same 5 units. So you study for the first internals, you study for the second internals, it goes on. You prepare for the mid-semester examination, you prepare for the model examination, you go for the end semester examination. So now what happens? What happens to your brain? Same input samples, same 5 unit input samples, you are presenting to the brain how many number of times? One time?
N number of times.
Yeah, girls, yeah, perfect. We, until we enter the exam hall, what we do?
We'll
We
revise
can
it.
recall.
We recall, we revise. Okay, we do that stuff, right? Okay, so what happens? So see, from kindergarten, your brain is trained. You are being taught how to read, how to learn, how to recall, how to retrieve. How, when are you retrieving? When are you retrieving?
The
Writing
questions.
questions.
Yes.
During the examination.
During the examination, questions. You see the questions. So your testing sample, what is going to be your testing sample? Your testing sample is going to be your question paper. Immediately you see the question paper, what happens? Immediately you see the question paper, what happens?
Try to recall.
Yes, try to recall. And whether, see, 5 units you have studied thoroughly, okay, to our confidence level, we have studied 5 units. As and when you receive the question paper in your hand, your trained neural network, what is your trained machine learning? Your trained brain, what does your trained brain say? It immediately sees your question paper. It immediately tries to find solution to each question. Yes or no? Anyway, we want to find best solution for the questions. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, at least for 5 questions. எனக்கு பாஸ் ஆனா போதும் அப்படின்னு நினைக்கிறவங்க வந்து at least 5 questions, 5 into 10 marks, 50 marks காக what they do is, so you see and you try to see the question paper. Question paper is the testing sample. Question paper is going to be the testing sample. You see the testing sample, you try to bring out the best from the trained biological neural network. Biological neural network is called as your brain. So much for the 3 days not to say study holidays, you have studied morning, night, you have studied, you are entering the exam hall, you see the question paper, you're trained with the 5 units. Your brain is trained with the 5 units. Complete 5 minutes, yes. Repeatedly training process is there and it has been trained. So immediately you see the question paper. So as and when you see the question paper, what happens immediately? You try to recall, you try to give a best solution for the answer. Whether you will be thinking of the answer which is not in the question paper, whether you will be thinking, no, yes. So we are not going to think of the answer which is not in the question paper. So we are not going to think what is not in the question paper. So we don't react to unwanted features. We react only to what features? Prominent required features. We don't react to questions which is not in the paper. You accept that? You accept that?
Yes.
Strongly agree, ma'am.
Yes, so we don't react to what is not in the question paper. So we have some testing sample, we have some features. So what happens? You react. So the training, the methodology, the machine learning model reacts to the prominent features only which is in the testing, which is and it starts finding solutions for that prominent features. And when that prominent features becomes based on that prominent features, we perform prediction, we perform diagnosis, we perform classification. So in that case, how would be the output of the system? How would be the output of the system? Better to some extent. Better to some extent. Why I am telling better to some extent? If you see, so when I select features, I perform train. So my brain is being trained with all those things. So now what happens here? So what happens here? I achieve an output. Okay, I achieve an output. Okay, so that output, so calculated output or computed output or evaluated output, I get an output here. So then what happens? I have a goal, or I have a desired, my desired aim. Okay, so I've attended the questions. So you come out of the exam hall. What do you say? How much marks you will get? Your friend does. இல்லனா what will happen? இல்ல நான் நல்லா தான் பண்ணிருக்கேன். நம்ம 90 னா 90 வரும் சொல்ல மாட்டோம். 80 னா 80 வரும் சொல்ல மாட்டோம். ஒரு 70s வரும் அப்படினு சொல்லுவோம். We'll tell like that, right? We tell like that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Mostly.
Yes. So what happens? So see here 70. Okay, so we tell, okay, my goal is to get 90. So for example, your goal is to get 80, for example. Okay, I've done well, I will get 80. That is your goal. So your goal to achieve this 80%, you have worked, you have trained your biological neuron, and you have got the you have set the goal to be 80. But luckily, what happened? You got only 72. If you get 85, no problem. You have reached more than your goal. You can stop training. You can stop training. But on the other hand, if you don't meet your performance, this is your performance, your 72, it is going to be your performance. It is going to be your performance. My performance is 72. My performance is 85. Performance is 85. No problem. You have gone more than the goal. You can stop training the neural network. You can stop training the machine learning neural network model. On the other hand, if this is your goal, this is 80 is going to be your goal, and you have not met your goal, and you have got your performance is only 72. The difference between the performance and the goal, okay, so goal and the performance, or it is going to be 8. Okay, 80 minus 72, 8. This is called as error in all papers. Okay, precision healthcare technology. So if you are going to purchase any lab equipments from any person to our biomedical lab, for example, if you say, they'll tell plus or minus 0.1% error, plus or minus 0.5%. It will be perfect. The person, the executive will tell it is perfect. But you go through all the pamphlets, you go through all the standards given by him. Surely at one small place there will be, what will be there? Plus or minus 0.03, plus or minus 0.5, plus or minus 1%. 99% it is perfect. But what will be there plus or minus? Have you seen when you have purchased lab equipments?
Yes, ma'am. Tolerance, accuracy, precision.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. So see, that is error. So the ultimately always these healthcare people will be working. The design engineers behind this healthcare will be working to minimize this error. So what happens in machine learning models? So you see this, you extract features, you train. So you give 1 lakh people data you give. So for example, see, this is a very simple biomedical example. So blood pressure, BP is there, cholesterol content, 2 inputs. How many? 2 inputs. Output is a heart disease. Okay, this is going to be an input. It is a 2. So this both are inputs. This both BP and these both are going to be inputs, and this heart disease is going to be your output here. Okay, so now what happens? So blood pressure 120, cholesterol content 0.1 milligram. Okay, so it is going to be 150, 5 grams. The above one is 0.1 milligram. It is 110, 0.01. So 170, high BP. So 120. So 25 milligrams. So 140. 4.5 grams. It is going on. So the inputs are, so this is your black box system. This is your black box system or a machine learning system. The input to this machine learning system is going to be 2 for first patient, normal humans. Blood pressure, cholesterol content. So when you give blood pressure and cholesterol content, you have to identify whether you get heart disease or not. Whether you have to get heart disease or not, you have to identify. So what happens? So for example, I am taking for 100 people. Okay, it goes on. For 100 people, I have taken the data. Okay, I am designing my machine learning model. So what is happening? So what will be happening in this model? In this model, as I told you, your biological brain, what is happening? 2 processes takes place. One, you are training with the 5 units. You're training it with the 5 units, right? So one, in machine learning, only 2 operations are being going on. One is going to be training the machine learning model. The other one is going to be the testing. Okay, so now what happens? So you have done 5 units you have given into your brain. You have given 5 units into your brain. So You are training, n times, as you said. So n times for first internal, second internal, with some model, etc. You train your network. So after then what happens? You're performing testing. So your testing is going to be the question paper. So you go perform the testing, then you come out. So what happens? Your goal was to get 80. Your performance was only 72. You got an error. So I want to minimize the error. What happens? I improve the training. Abdina. So what you are going to do? You are going to give again same 5 units. Same 5 units you are going to present to the neural network. You are going to present to your brain. So that is your biological neural network. That is your biological neural network. Here it is a machine learning neural network you are going to design for healthcare system diagnosis, healthcare decision. So here also what you have to do? Only 2 you have to take care. One is training, the other one is testing. One is training, the other one is testing. So now what happens? Blood pressure, cholesterol control for 100 patients. So it is going to be for 100 patients. So first one, 120, 120.1. Okay. So it will tell. So you'll have a rule. If blood pressure is this, then cholesterol content is this. Yes. So heart disease, yes or no? 1 or 0. We'll keep, it can be 1 or 0. Even some values can be there. Yes. No heart attack. 0. Okay, so 0, not here it is 155 grams. So grams of yes, there is it tendency to come. Here tendency is not there. So like this. So inside what is happening, I'll tell you. So what happens now here? 100 people's data I've given. Okay, so and I have trained them. I have finished training the machine learning model. I finished training the machine learning model. Now what happens? One new people is coming. 101. New people is coming. Able to you're able to hear me, right? Able to hear me? Any network problem? Yes.
My side, you are audible, ma'am. Screen also visible.
Visible. Thank you. So now what happens here? So I am. So we are testing with 100 people. So 101. A new person is coming. A new person is coming, and for example, his blood, his or her, okay, it is going to be 150, and it is going to be 3 gram. His or her blood pressure is going to be 140 and 3 gram. 140 and 3 gram. What happens? His 140 and 3 gram will be near to any of this 100 people. You accept it? Will be at least 90% near to some people here out of 100 people.
Yes.
Yes, see 140. So it is 140. So it is here 140 is there. So what happens when it is 100 people, when it is 1,000 people, when it is going to be 1,000 people, when it is 1 lakh people, when it is 10 lakh people. So what will happen? The testing sample comes, will match at least with 1 lakh people. Anyone's near data, it will match or not? It will match. It will match or not? It will match. It will match. You understand? So when accuracy is improved,
More training samples.
Perfect. More training samples. When it is 1 lakh people, 100 people, a new people. Sorry for the disturbance outside. So what happens here? So when a new person comes, if it is 100, it will be like plus or minus 5% error. 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 1 lakh people, you are increasing the training. Studying 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 10 time, 100 time, you are increasing the training. Here also, you are increasing the training with more number of people, more number of features, more number of input classifying prominent features. So what happens when more number of training data is used and training process is enhanced in a machine learning model, you get better accuracy. So hence whatever testing comes. Hence, whatever testing comes into picture, so what will happen? So whatever testing comes into picture, so it will try to give the solution. It will try to give the solution for that. And what is happening inside now? What is happening? So I told you training is happening. I told you testing is happening. What is training and does? What it does? It improves weights. It improves weights. How do you improve weights? By means of learning. You learn 5 units, you learn. Okay, so weights. So what is in machine learning neural networks? What is being done? If you see, you improve or update the weights. See, I ask you, in your LKG, who was your desk mate? Anyone? You remember? LKG? Now I ask you, 12th standard, who was your desk mate? Or in your UG, final year, who was sitting near you? You're able to recall?
Yes, ma'am.
Recent
Recent unit study. So now I ask you, somewhere in some 5th standard, somewhere you might have fell down, and somewhere so something would have happened, or you might have in 3rd standard or something, you have got the best student award, or in 7th standard you participated in athletics and you were the topper. Whether you remember those things which happened in your 5th standard, 7th standard, you have been appreciated for something for your essay competition, just a minute competition, for your debate. You remember those or not?
Yes.
Yes, you remember those. Something happened in UG. You should have received some information from your grandparents, from your brother, sister, siblings. You might have read something in your 6th standard, which you always not. Some of your class teachers, 6 would have told, or he would have told you something. Whether you remember that? You remember that something?
Yes.
Yes. So you don't remember who sat you near in 1st standard or 3rd standard, who sat you near you. You don't remember, right?
No.
But you remember you got some good prize in 3rd standard, that you can remember. In 5th standard, whatever, something like this, you can remember, right?
Yes. Yes.
So why that things are being remembered? Why some things are not remembered? Because you give more weightage. You accept for the events, for the happenings, for the words, which something you should not forget. You have given more weightage is in your biological neural network. You accept it?
Yes, still I could remember I received 1 rupee from my class master.
Oh, so sweet. So sweet. That is thing. So a small, even I remember one small bowl, okay? So one small bowl for my first 100-meter run. I still have that bowl. I still have that bowl. Might be in 2nd standard or something. I don't allow anyone to take that bowl, white color bowl. So see, in our brain, which we give more weight, more weightage. More weightage. So someone has said the word, no, I want to prove myself and I will not forget. So some hurt, some good, both strong points as well as weak points. Okay, so you would have trusted someone, and you would have not thought that would happen. So in that scenario, so what happens? Our brain, our trained neural network, so our brain, so what happens? So whatever we have got, we are giving more weightage. So that more weightage has been stored in our brain, and during testing process, you sit alone and you think, you can visualize your perception, you can perceive some information, so etc. So hence, how our biological brain, how our brain gives more weightage. And what happens? So when you start this course, this 5 days FPP on precision healthcare technology, today morning only first session has started, right? So for example, we can think morning before first session, my weight is 0. My weight about the subject, my weight about the subject in my brain is 0. First session is over. Some input I think so that scientific, so from USA, I think he was a speaker. So you would have received some information. Now second my session, third afternoon some session again from that company, and fourth session. So what happens? Your weights, as each session getting completed, what happens to the weights of this subject knowledge in your brain? What is happening? What's happening?
Creating database, hard disk.
Yes, it is updated. Update. You accept this weight, this principle as update?
Yes.
Yes. So weight of the subject, update, weight update. So it is going to be, this is called as weight update. So what your machine learning, all soft computing, everything, fuzzy, etc., artificial intelligence, okay, it updates, gets updated. How it gets updated? During training, it gets updated. During training, it gets updated. How updated is being done? By means of what called as learning rule. How it gets updated? What I told inside something is happening. What is happening inside? Nothing is happening. Weights is getting updated. How for you? You don't know a subject. I don't know edge computing. I don't know grid computing. I know cloud computing. I start learning edge-driven computing. So initially when I start, a book is there, for example, initially when I start, the weight is 0. As it goes on, what happens on the subject? 1% increases, 2% increases, 3% increases. So you formulate a learning methodology. See, currently we receive information from so many. So humans, what are our inputs? First, in the starting of the session, complex system in the world is humans. It has several inputs and several inputs. Can you name inputs? Can you name inputs to humans? Food, basic, all those are that inputs, knowledge inputs. How we receive
All
knowledge?
sensing inputs.
Yes, sensing inputs, perfect. Sensing inputs, knowledge inputs, all our life driving inputs. So sensing inputs and knowledge inputs, how you will have sensing inputs and knowledge inputs? Can you tell? By means of your father, from your mother, how they behave, their body language, all inputs from books, inputs from guru, input from your brother. Don't do like this. You learn like this. You draw and learn. When you present in the answer sheet, you put drawings, you make colors, you put a box to the answer what you get. So many inputs. So from your teachers, from your gurus, from your library, currently from your Instas, from your WhatsApp, so many inputs. All these, this is their vaccination is scheduled. You can see all the status and say what is happening. What, even though news we might have missed some status, we saw today's news. Okay, so we can see. So what, where it happened. So many inputs are there. So many inputs are there, and based on the inputs, you update the weights. So how weight update is being done? Learning rules. So we have our own methods of learning. How you learn? Yeah, I learned from the book. I learned from the e-content. I learned from the library. Otherwise, I learned from the friends' notes. Learning rule differs. So hence, if you see in machine learning neural network model, there are several learning rules. Called as gradient descent learning rule, perceptron learning rule, Hebb learning rule, McCloskey's learning rule, Bidrohoff learning rule, least mean square error learning rule, hundreds of learning rules. So machine learning, computational intelligence was the father, Lotfi Zadeh. Okay, so Lotfi Zadeh was behind these all, whatever. There are different nomenclature which is being followed. There are different nomenclatures: machine learning, computational intelligence models, or you can call it as soft computing models, or you can call it as evolutionary models. Everything Zadeh was there, and all it is not only for medical images or image processing. It is used for machine control. It is used in power applications. It is used in communication applications. It is used in antenna wave propagation. It is used in science. It is used in botany, zoology. It is used in stock markets. It is used in management. So all these machine learning models, and prima facie, currently its growth in medical image is highly immense, and even hardwares are being developed with all the convolutional neural network models. You just put in your Google convolutional neural network processor chips. you put, you will get it as. So one of the two most processor chips are ResNet. Okay, so it is for medical imaging, let it be whatever it is. So one of the prominent hardware chip is, one is going to be ResNet model, and the other one is ConvNet. Okay, convolutional net. So these are machine learning processor chips which are readily available in market, and mostly everyone will be using. So the higher end researchers who are working with deep learning will know. So I told you learning rules. So learning rules, you update the weights. So we read so many ways and we update the weights of our brain, human brain. Likewise, all this machine learning neural model, so different learning rules. So based on different learning rules, there are different machine learning models. Convolutional neural network model, backpropagation neural network model, a deep learning neural network model, LSTM neural network, long short-term memory. It is based on memory. How human memory. See what Zadeh did. What Zadeh did was, Zadeh did only three. Based on three, he model. How human brain works? Develop a model. How human makes a decision making? Develop a model. How human evolution happened? Evolution. How your crossover mutation, how human has chromosomes, how many chromosomes? 23 chromosomes. So how each chromosome has your tall, your short, your fair, your brown, your white, your hair is short, your nail is brown, etc., etc. So what happens when you're short, etc. So evolution. These three. Human brain works. How human brain works? Yes, we have seen now how we train our brain from LKG, UKG, what information we store. We give more weightage towards something that we have in our brain. Which we don't give weightage, it is not there in the brain. We are unable to recall. So how this brain mapping is done? We associate, okay, pattern association. Our brain is capable of pattern association. So you see a design, I want this design in my whatever print I use or whatever I think. So pattern association, pattern recognition. So you see your friend who has studied in 5th standard, you study him now, you try to associate the pattern. Oh, his face like that. Yes, you are able to recognize, you are able to classify. Oh, your brain is able of classifying pattern association, pattern recognition, pattern classification, image, medical image association, medical image recognition, and diagnosis, medical image classification. So hence what happens? So Zadeh operated everything, brain decision making, brain. So all machine learning neural network models, decision making, all uncertainties. See, now I tell you, humidity in the air is 21, 0.5 milligram. The outside temperature is 21 degrees C. I'm asking you whether rain will come or not. I'm asking you whether rain will come or not. You will not tell, you can't tell. Oh, humidity is 0.5 milligram. Okay, the outside temperature is 21 degrees C. Can rain come or not? You don't know. But now immediately you're able to feel the smell of the sand. You see the clouds in the sky. Oh, rain will come immediately. So what will happen? How human brain, inputs are accurate. Inputs are accurate. I don't get the solution. But visualization, my pattern visualization. Oh, cloud is like this, rain will come, I can run. So what happens here? Decision making, if rules. So decision making, human makes if then rules. Oh, if cloud is like that, if it is like that, machine learning. So if blood pressure of the patient is like this and cholesterol content, if BP and cholesterol content is like this, then heart disease is equal to 1, else heart disease is 0. Evolution, chromosomes, better solution. I want a better solution. I don't want a best solution. I don't want a best solution. I want a better or an optimal solution. Finding, so evolution. So when we are developed, okay, so in the womb of your father and the mother, so thousands and 10,000s of millions of sperms will be there, and the one, okay, so will get fired. So what will happen? So the best one gets fired and it will be allowed to go through the next population. Evolution, and that has been used mostly in segmentation of the images. All optimization, evolutionary algorithms are used for image segmentation. So under all these conditions, Under all these conditions only, machine learning models are there. I didn't even see the time. I think it is 12:20 already. I have not touched lung cancer. So kindly we will move to lung cancer classification. Otherwise, my talk would not be satisfied here. Okay, so these are my papers that has been published. Okay, so my scholar, it's one of the scholar's work. So lung cancer classification employing proposed real coded GA with RDF neural networks. So if you see here, see this is, we have taken lung CT images. I'll show you some sample images. Yes, I showed you, right? I showed you all these images only. Yes, all these images. These are the images. So these are the images which we have taken. And if you see in these images, so we have extracted the features. So see, so usually who are all working in models, who are working in medical image processing will know. So we can, this papers are all available in Google, etc. If you want, I can send it to Dr. Vijay. He can forward it to all the participants. So if you see feature extraction, so see, so these are the metrics. These are the metrics which are being adopted. Okay, so short run emphasis. So I just increase the font size for you to better visualize. Yes. So short. So these are the run length matrices. Okay. So if you see, these are the formulas based on the pixels. So you can use. There will be so many like 64 features or 32. So there are so many features are there, and these are the features which are being extracted. Okay, so they call it as GLRLM. Okay, feature extraction, that is gray level run length matrix, and GLCM. Okay, so gray level co-occurrence matrices will be developed here. So this is, we have worked with real coded GA. This is one of the crossover. I told you evolution process, right? Like a crossover mutation. It is, GA is one of the most primary and stable and reliable optimization technique. Okay, so here we modified the crossover methodology, and here, as I told you, so for example, two inputs, for example, blood pressure is going to be there. Here it is blood pressure, cholesterol content, and heart disease. So, but here what happens? So this is the machine learning neural network model. So as I told you, how like perceptron learning rule, deep learning. So here we have used radial basis function. RBFFN means radial basis function neural network. It uses Gaussian function for determining the solution of the problem. So lack of time, I am unable to explain what is Gaussian. So this is how it is built, and here you get the performance, and here you have the goal. Okay, so this goal and performance will be, this Y is the output. Difference between the goal and the performance will be the error, and your operation will be more to reduce the error by means of training. By means of training, what is weight update? So what is this weight update? See here, this is new. This is new weight is equal to old weight plus change in weight. This change in weight is called as your learning rule. This is your learning rule. This is your learning rule. So here we applied for, I think we worked with what to say, databases from hospital. Also we got the databases, and one database she used. I'll tell you, she used some database from one website. She's not mentioned it. Another paper, I think we have mentioned it. This is published in Springer. If you see this paper, we want you to show the database so that you can take and work on it. Yes, data sample. So see this. This is the data sets. You can have an, yes. So from Lung Image Consortium. See here, this is Lung Image Consortium, image database from consortium. So 152 patients detail. So it is you can type this in your Google and you can get the data for working. Lung Image Database Consortium. And if you see here, healthy patients 42 nodules, vascularized. Lung nodules means the cancer nodules. Okay, so there are types of cancer nodules. So that is what it is given here. So if you see here, healthy patients how many? And if you see lung nodules, vascularized lung nodules 46, pleural tail lung nodules 23, completely circumscribed lung nodules 22, juxta pleural lung nodules. So these four are different cancer lung nodules. Okay, so each types differs. So healthy patients, how many healthy patients? Because then only we'll be able to perform the diagnosis. Then only we'll be able to perform the diagnostic sample images. So we have given so many, this many number of 152 plus 103 we have used, and from medical institute also we received the images. So we have used, and see these are the lung cancer, normal training, normal testing. We have done, we have extracted the features. After you extract the features, you use classification. In that paper which I have shown, they used RBFN with real coded GA. I think she has used deep learning. See here, so she has used deep learning backpropagation network model. So see how the outputs are being shown. So only the tumors. So Gabor filtered, segmented image, extracted lung tumor. So this part. So all those in the black, in this black with circumscribed, all shows the lung tumor part. And these are all the error values. So I think metrics, okay, or classification accuracy, yes. So classification accuracy will be the most prima facie here, and you can this. So I don't know whether I can open MATLAB and I can run the program. Once again, let me try. So database has been available. Lung image consortium dataset, you have the is available. So before you start your work on all these type of this, you get database. So you first check database, work in database, and then if you get real-time images, then you can work on both, and you can show it. 1 second. Yes, I'll just show how machine learning neural model works. So this is the program. I'll just run the same, so we'll see. I'll just select this. See, yeah, it's happening. So see here, this is your input image. See how processing takes place. Yes, histogram. So that tumor part will be identified, but it is showing there. Okay, it's wrong actually. So it should be showing here. So might be running problems will be there. So further I can try with another image. So, that's what it is there, and it is showing. So training process should be elapsed. Okay, so hence if you see, so finally repeated training has to be done and it will be reported. So if you see in this paper how she has reported, yes, real time. See this LIDC, lung image data consortium databases, real time from the hospitals. So and how based on classification accuracy. I think it has been done and several papers, right? Several papers are being available. So this is about all training and testing. Important slide if you see. No, this is for brain tumors. Okay. So uh, I think I can stop here. Okay. So I'll be glad to answer any queries.
Madam,
Ah, yes, sir.
myself, I'm an assistant professor and researcher in Vellore Institute of Technology.
Yeah, sure.
Even I am also working in deep learning, machine learning, and neural networks.
Oh, so nice. Yeah, please, sir.
Interdisciplinary research, I am applying in digital holography, optics.
Oh, in optics side. Good, good,
Uh,
good. Even that is a good area.
uh, Madam, one small thing is in classification.
Yes.
So confusion matrix and classification report and all will also come into picture, right? While classifying the images or
100%. 100% you have to evaluate the confusion matrix. Based on
um,
confusion matrix also will be given not only classification accuracy or
um,
true positive rate, false positive rate or
um,
specificity sensitivity. Yeah, naturally you have to evaluate confusion matrix also.
ROC curve and precision recall curve.
Sure. Reach,
Um,
yes, receiver operating characteristics as well as area
um,
under curve. And if the
um,
area under curve, if it is more than one, then it is
um,
better. You have to do all
yes.
the stuff naturally.
I'm working in Python and TensorFlow, madam. I'm not
Yeah,
using
good.
that.
Don't use that. That's what I told you. Not at all
Um,
necessary to use a proprietary software. Better to go with open source. So Python is very good. Even I am working in Python.
okay,
I'm
madam.
working
Thanks.
for I'm working for hyperspectral images currently, and even for COVID lung CT chest I'm working currently for deep. But I'm trying for neuroprocessor chips, collaborating with the company in Bangalore.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay, madam. Thanks, madam.
yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thanks.
Ma'am, any open source tool for academic students, faculty to
That,
practice ML except Python and MATLAB? It is very difficult to get it. You know the situation of our country.
yeah, Scilab. That is what I told you. Scilab. SCILAB. Scilab.
It's all the tools are available, ma'am.
Yes,
Libraries, everything.
yes. Scilab. Scilab is good. You can
Okay,
try
fine,
with
ma'am.
Scilab.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So you can get my mail ID from Professor Vijay. I think he can give the mail ID to the participants. I'll send my PPT. I don't have as such PPT. See, I'm always not for this online mode. I'm always offline with the whiteboard and everything and better facing and clarifying the notes. So since Professor Vijay asked, I better accept it to online. Otherwise, I'm not at all currently accepting my because it would be more good. So I don't have as such PPT. If you require some materials, I can send my papers so that you can share with the participants, Dr. Vijay. And so any other queries you can post them, or even if now I can wait and I can answer you.
Even this particular online session, it doesn't seem like online presentation. Even we had very interactive thing.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, Professor.
yeah, so ma'am, I have one question. Like
Sure.
very recently, people are working on SNN.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we go
Spiking.
for some.
Spiking neural networks.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
spiking
in the
is.
case of neuromorphic computing or like devising components,
Mm,
so can you share anything about spike neural network, ma'am?
yeah,
Are you
sure.
working on it? Yeah,
Yes, one second. I have my paper in spiking. I'll just open you and 2 minutes glimpse of that.
yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yes. See, this was for brain tumor. Okay, this was published as spiking neural networks. See, in spiking neural networks, if you see, uh, Iswick neuron is the most prominent one. Yeah, this is what. Yes. So for neuromorphic computing, okay. So spiking, why? So as I told you, our human brain works. So what happens each time? So see, if you see here, so this point I'm unable to put the comment here. So if you see here, each time a spike would be generated. So hence what happens, this
Actually,
signals,
sorry,
yes.
ma'am. Sorry to interrupt you. I think your screen is not shared, it seems.
So it's not shared, one second. Oh, I'm not getting the share in. Oh, it's not getting again shared. That initial problem, no? One second, let me try again.
Okay, no issue, no issues. Okay,
We'll try it. We'll try it for a minute, one second. Is that better visualization? You give your sharing, you've given, right?
We don't have any control on sharing option.
Sharing, okay, one second. No, I'm not able to share. I'll send that PDF to you, Dr. Vijay. I'll send that PDF immediately to you so that you
Yeah,
can
sure, definitely.
have about that spiking neural networks. You can work in it.
Yeah.
It's a very third generation neural network. SNN is very good, good option. And I have worked, and now I have moved to deep CNN. So currently I'm not working with SNN. So
Okay, yeah, fine.
any queries, my dear participants? So if no queries, I'd like to thank the authorities, the management, the principal, all the authorities of SNN and Shivasubramanian Nadar College of Engineering, Chennai. I'd like to thank my deepest gratitude for inviting me for the session, Professor Dr. Vijay, Professor of Biomedical Engineering of SSNC, and all the entire team of coordinating this FTP on precision healthcare technologies, which is right at this scenario. And finally, my gratitude to all the patient listening online mode of my speech by the participants. So thank you one and all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Dear participants, our next session will start by 11:45. The demonstration will be given by the Gentech professionals. Please join by 1:45. Thank you.